Hello YouTube, I am Joe. Today let's look at micro table saws. This one is an old Dremel, and these things are worth their weight in gold. Everybody and their brother wants these. I don't know why they quit making them. This is a 4-inch diameter, 10,000 RPM, but it's powered by only half a gerbil. No balls whatsoever in this thing. So because of that, I decided we had to do some modifications to make it work properly. So the first thing I did was I ground these all by hand, so it's like a Swiss Army knife. Each one of these are just razor sharp. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Second thing I did is I put a lock on the back side of the fence. We'll also have a look at that. Took care of the vibration also, so now it doesn't skate around on the bench while you're attempting to use it, because I don't want mine mounted, if you will. And then we came up with some additional parts that you might want to look at for your fence and for your parts. There are quite a few of these miniature saws available. Not so much anymore in the Dremel name, but these are available. And the point I'm making in this actual video is a couple of mods really wake up these saws. Can you imagine for a millisecond being able to cut a piece, ripping a piece of balsa that is literally 514 thousandths of an inch exactly all the way down? I mean, it's unheard of. These things just never had any accuracy whatsoever. But if you can lock it down, you're good to go. Then, of course, we made a little miniature push stick, you know, a little sandpaper on there. Stuff like that really helps out big time. The spoil board is another good idea for when you guys are running stuff through the fence. You hold on to both pieces over here and the part that's being cut. So you have one hand there and one hand here, and as you push that through, when you back out now, you have a perfectly cut part that doesn't have any ends that are wasted on it. So you end up with something like this. And you can literally see into the pores of that grain. That thing is that sharp. It's pretty amazing. So what we did is we took some neoprene discs, if you will. This is a durometer that's about the heel of a shoe. Obviously it doesn't work real good when it's coated with lots of sawdust, but I can tell you they work great when they're not. So that was mod number 1. It just had to be done. This thing skates on the table way too much. Then mod number 2 was actually taking a look at the fence. Now, because the fence already had a hook in back, I thought, ha, we got it. So all you need to do is thread a piece of steel, or perhaps, well, you could do just about anything you want in there. This is a weld nut, and it's simply spring loaded. And I used a little Loctite on there, a little red Loctite on the end, and then not so much polished, but put a good finish on the bottom of the bolt head so that it doesn't dig into your table and wreck it. Now, although I have some micro marring on mine, I've used this quite a bit over the years. But it works very, very well. It's so simple to do. A spring, a chunk of steel, and a bolt. That's as easy as that is. The actual fence itself is just simply a piece of IPE, IPE. Little sliver of that on the front because it's really, really hard. And I glued it and screwed it to the fence with CA super glue so it doesn't move around anymore. And that's all done. And some fine sandpaper, like I think that's 400 on there. Really, really helped it out. And last but not least, a miniature push stick. And does that little sucker work well? You might want a little more hook on the bottom, but I cut so much super thin material that in order to make it work, you really need to have a thin heel. But do whatever you need for yours to be nice. And then one other item that you might even try. This is made out of oak, and it could be some lighter wood, but featherboards are real easy to make. I mean, onto the bandsaw or onto a saw, just cut yourself some teeth. But to have that resting really gently against the back of the saw, if and only if you're going to skim cut just a hair off of something. Featherboards never work for you if you actually have a piece that's being cut off, because that'll jam it into the blade as it comes out the backside, and that wouldn't be a good idea. But this little sucker works very good now, and being able to have all your edges crisp and true and nothing broken, I mean not even a sliver, is really cool. Let's have a look at that blade up close. Let me know what you guys think of this. Is this something you dare do? I did this to a bandsaw blade too, by the way. You should see how that bandsaw blade cuts. And yes, it took hours to file it. But was it worth it? Sure, it's lasted. That blade is still on the saw. It's lasted years. You guys let me know what you think. You take care.